Hi everyone, this is John Ricky. Welcome to the Positive Master Show, where we talk about developing your mindset and passion projects to boost your happiness and counter any anxiety, sadness, or anger that you may be facing. Are you ready? Let's rock! This is episode 3 of the Positive Master Show. We're going to go over 7 ways to practice mindfulness. First of all, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is a type of meditation in which you focus on being intensely aware of what you're sensing and feeling in the moment rather than dwelling on your past or worrying about your future. You observe and accept your inner processes and experiences rather than judge or avoid them. Mindfulness can be cultivated within or outside of formal meditation and woven into your activities, such as taking a walk, running, listening to music, or giving yourself some quiet time. The practice of mindfulness can go way back to the days of Siddhartha Gautama, the founder of Buddhism. In Buddhism, you work hard to improve yourself in your journey toward enlightenment, which includes attention, awareness, and being present. Mindfulness can help you to get your mind off of the things causing you stress, thus giving you time to recharge and reduce your anxiety. There's growing research showing that when you train your brain to be mindful, you're remodeling the physical structure of your brain. And as mindfulness became accepted in mainstream science and medicine, it became a useful therapeutic technique. It was integrated into cognitive therapy, behavior therapy, and other psychology therapies. There are many ways to practice mindfulness. I'd like to highlight 7 that you can use. Number 1, experience your environment with all your senses, which is your touch, sound, sight, smell, and taste. You can become one with your surroundings, whether it's indoors or outdoors. For instance, in the morning when I wake up, I like to open my curtains and I open my window to let the sunlight in and to feel that sun rays on my skin, that warmth, that touch, that feeling, and that light when it comes in to wake me up and to brighten up my day. Outside next to my bedroom is a plumeria tree, and I can smell the flowers, the plumeria flowers. And I also can hear the birds chirping. A lot of the birds like to hang out on the tree or fly around it. So these things wake me up and also make me feel peppy and more cheerful. After I brush my teeth, I often make myself hot coffee. And I make sure I savor the taste with every sip. And I also enjoy the smell of the coffee. So in that short amount of time, I'm already being mindful. And I'm enjoying my senses of touch, sound, sight, smell, and taste. A second way to practice mindfulness is to do a mindful activity, such as go out for a walk or run and focus on your experience, such as your movement, your breathing, the sounds of your feet impacting the sidewalk, the trees swaying, and the clouds floating through the skies. When I run, I can feel the buoyancy in my shoes, and I can feel the cool breeze against my sweaty skin. You can also be mindful as you wash your dishes. Feel the water going through your hands, the soap and the suds rubbing against you, and also like the bubbles forming. Observe the way the soap is interacting with the dishes. And for me, as I mentioned prior, I also like to include gratitude. So I'm appreciative of what I'm washing or the dishes. I mentioned earlier in a gratitude episode how some of these dishes were gifts to me. So I include that as I move forward with my dishwashing. When you have your meal, don't just gobble it down. Slow down. Enjoy the taste. If someone made a dish for you, maybe you can try and figure out what ingredients that person used, or what flavors or what seasoning was used. When you take a shower, don't make it like a routine where you just go in and out. Enjoy it. For me, I got this Japanese towel that's a little rough, but it feels good when you scrub yourself. It gives this massage like feeling. So for me, I enjoy that. I enjoy when I'm scrubbing that Japanese bath towel on my body, and with the water, like if I want to wake up, I make it cold or cooler, the temperature. And let's say it's nighttime and I want to go to sleep, I make the temperature warm or hot. So I make the shower experience something to enjoy, not just something to do. The third way to practice mindfulness is to take some time to enjoy nature. Relaxing surroundings can make it easier for you to get into your mindful state. Plus, being in nature has so many of its own well being. For instance, in Hawaii, a lot of us like to go to the beach, like to go to the ocean, and we call it ocean therapy because it's so soothing, it's so relaxing. To listen to the sound of the ocean, for me, it's so good. And also the saltwater air and jumping into the ocean when the water is cleansing your pores, the salt water is smoothing your skin out, you can feel it. And the rays of sun as it touches your skin, there's so much good vibes that go into going to the beach. One of my favorite moments with nature is being on top of the mountain during winter, lying in the snow, looking at the sky as the snowflakes are like slowly floating down and drifting towards me, and the evergreen trees with snow all over it, and the stillness of it all, the peacefulness, the quietness, and the cleanliness of the white snow just spread out all over the mountain. To me, that's a, a very favorite moment of mine. Another fun moment I had with nature was when my friends and I hiked into the forest in Hawaii, and we walked until we hit a river. And along this river, there's these little waterfalls and these pools of water. And it felt so good to wade in it and then go deeper and deeper. And the water is chilly because it's coming from the mountains. And just relaxing in it and enjoying the scene, seeing the birds, seeing the trees all around, that just has a very calming experience. And having that moment where you're waiting and it's not big enough to swim, but you can float and maybe go under for a bit, dive a little under and feel that coldness, that chilly water to wake you up. And after we went hiking back out, and then we went to a loi or a taro patch where the Hawaiians grew taro, where you can eat it um, like a paste. And it was a staple food back in the olden days. And to this day, we still eat it. But to be able to walk through the taro patch and to be able to see that still existing and being passed on from generation to generation, and now currently in this present day with all technology, we still have the old ways, the old technology of farming or agriculture. So to go and experience that and be present with that, and we did meditation out in the loi while we were there, and that was very fun and enjoyable as well, to kind of connect with the days of those before us, the Hawaiians that lived before us, and to have that linked was a precious moment for me as well. Another awesome experience I had with mindfulness, with nature, was when I went to Japan with my family. And I remember going to Oshima Island. We crossed the bridge and we went onto the island with our vehicle. And I saw this huge bird with wings spread out flying down. It was an eagle going towards the ocean and then swooping up. And all along the island, all along the road, were beautiful cherry blossoms, like white color and pink, a mixture of darker pink or a mixture of white and pink. All along the road, trees of cherry blossom were everywhere. And we visited a Buddhist temple where my grandfather on my dad's side, the sister of my grandfather, is buried. So we visited her grave and paid our respects there. And behind the the graves were these beautiful white cherry blossoms. And for me, cherry blossoms is my favorite. If you've never seen it live, you have to. It's so beautiful. And it was one of the things that I wanted to do in my bucket list is to experience that. And I want to keep experiencing that. It's so amazing that I don't think you can ever get old seeing this. It's always beautiful no matter what. So that's something I cherish dearly is experiencing the cherry blossom trees in Japan. Another favorite mindfulness experience with nature I really enjoy is campfire at night. The feeling of the campfire, the glow of the flames, and the crackling of the wood, and the quietness of the forest. That's a great experience. Whether you're camping with tents or going outside of your cabin, just to experience that oneness with nature with a fire, and you're with your friends or family or your loved ones, and you're enjoying that precious moment talking over the campfire, and oftentimes just listening to the nature, the sounds of nature, and just being together with it. It's another amazing experience that I love. It's a great mindfulness experience. Another great mindfulness experience was when I camped at Kokee in Kauai Island with my friends, and we had this cabin, and my cousin wanted to wake up super early so we can see the sunrise, and it was totally worth it. I mean, it's so beautiful. We saw it go over the canyon, and oh man, seeing the sun come up like that, we don't always experience it. At least for me, I don't experience sunrise too often, so to make some time to just experience that is really good to see. I gotta do more of that in my life. Now, the fourth way to practice mindfulness is to pay attention to everything you do. Like right now, I'm sitting on this super comfortable cushion on the floor as I talk to you guys. I'm appreciating this awesome microphone that my friend is letting me borrow. I'm present with my computer. The carpet under me, my skin touching it, everything. I can be present for this moment as I'm working on this podcast with you. It's the little things that I'm grateful for. I mean, it's not just little. I mean, this microphone, I'm super grateful because it's expensive, and my friend, it's just been so generous in letting me borrow it. This present moment with the stillness of this night. Usually I'm hearing a lot of traffic outside, but I purposely podcast late at night or early in the morning so there's not much traffic out. So the stillness of the night, even in a busy area like where I'm at, is something to be good and present. I mean, I'm saying that weird. It's good to be present and to feel this moment. And I'm incorporating gratitude. I'm incorporating gratitude in this because that's my next one, which is number 5. Use gratitude with your mindful practice. And I really did emphasize that a lot in my first podcast. If you notice, I mentioned mindfulness a lot. That's because mindfulness and gratitude go hand in hand. When you're present and you're aware of your surroundings, the moment to moment, you find all these things to be grateful for. And that's why I chose this to be my next subject for mindset after gratitude, because they're totally linked. It's like the higher your strength in mindfulness, the higher your strength in gratitude. So keep that in mind. Every single moment, be present as you move forward. And the stronger your gratitude and mindfulness are connected, the more resilient you are to negative stuff. As I mentioned in that first episode, you get more stronger, like exercise. This whole mindset thing is like exercise. The more we train at it, the more we're awake and aware, the stronger we get. Every day we gotta do it. Just like exercise, every day we gotta run or lift weights. Every day we gotta train our mind. Every day we gotta be awakened. Every single moment gotta be counted in the positive light as best as we can. So that's why I feel like this number 5 of incorporating gratitude with your mindful practice is very critical. And it gives you these wonderful bursts of joy throughout your day. And you find more and more things that you can be thankful for. So keep doing that. Keep putting the two together, mindfulness and gratitude. The 6th way to practice mindfulness is by focusing on your breathing. When you have negative thoughts, try to sit down and take a deep breath. Close your eyes. As you inhale, count to 4, and then exhale and count to 4. Repeat this until you feel the tension in your body getting better. Focus on your breath as it moves in and out of your body. Sitting and breathing for even just a minute can be helpful. You want to try one just for a little bit now? At a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Breathe out. So these deep breaths, if you notice, you'll feel calmer and then more relaxed over time as you keep doing it. And you can also do this in a meditative state. So in a future podcast, I'll talk about meditation and using breath techniques. These two practices can be merged together as well. So you see how many of these practices can be used together and they complement one another. It's just amazing because psychology, philosophy, mindset practices, and lifestyle practices can all be used together to make yourself better, to make your mindset stronger and more positive, and to make yourself happier. So sometimes one alone might not be enough. One practice alone might not be enough, but combining them or using 3 or 4 practices together makes it stronger. And throughout your days, you can be using many practices, and after a while they become automatic. The goal is to make it automatic. So even this breathing technique, just becomes automatic. Like when I was stressing out as a prosecutor, as a prosecuting attorney, there were times when I came back from the courtroom so exhausted, I closed the door and took some deep breaths, did some meditation, and even took a nap just to relieve my stress, because that job was just so crazy as far as pressure is concerned. So it really did help me in those situations. Even when I was in politics, I would close the door and meditate or do some deep breathing. If you don't have an office like that, you can do it in your cubicle, or if need be, go outside, take a mindfulness walk, or go to a park nearby or somewhere where you can be alone, or a lawn area. Like some of the government areas in Hawaii have these lawns that's pretty big, where you can just walk out there and sort of just be by yourself, or just go under a tree and just be mindful or meditate, or just be still, or put on a podcast or listen to music, something to calm you down. And these activities combined can do wonders. Just having those moments, those minutes away from the craziness will help. And then you can reassess everything and reanalyze everything later. Don't solve the problem now. Just get away from the stress, relax, take some deep breaths, meditate, listen to music, be with nature, be with anything but that stressful situation. And then when you feel better, then you can go back and try and solve that problem. So these are techniques that I've used in my career. Like, politics is super stressful, and litigation is, to me, really stressful. To me, it's the worst stress I've ever felt was being among angry judges, angry lawyers, angry staff. It was just terrible. But these methods of or techniques helped me. And in fact, there's one time my good friend Brandon, I had this one judge that was just hammering me. I don't know what it was. I mean, a lawyer didn't show up to court, and he would yell at me because this opposing counsel didn't show up. I don't know where this counsel is. He's yelling at me, telling me to find him. But I had this one judge for like a month, and it was just killing me. And my good friend Brandon knew I was just feeling it. So he said, John, I'm going to pick you up. And he took me to the beach in Honolulu on the South Shore in Kaka'ako. That's where I also had my electronic dance music concert. I love music, so I'll talk more about music, and that's why I incorporate music in this podcast, is because I love music, and it's a great way to calm your nerves or for stress relief. But anyways, going back to that story with my friend, he took me to Kaka'ako Park, and we took a walk, and I teared up. I rarely cry, but I cried that moment because I was so stressed out. I've never been so stressed out. And that judge just really broke me down. We just, the temper, that anger he took out on me. And not just me, but I know there's other lawyers that went through that, and I've heard stories. So even staff probably, I bet, went through it. I can only know how his family is going through stuff with him. But oh man, my good friend gave me ocean therapy. There you go, mindfulness with the ocean, and having a good friend to talk with, psychotherapy, which I will talk to you about more in another episode. Talk therapy is very huge as well. But together, my friend and I was one with the ocean, one with nature. And he just being there for me helped me get out of that really stressful situation. So see how different practices can work together? That was psychotherapy with my friend, and mindfulness with the ocean, or ocean therapy, which is nature therapy that we can also go deeper in. And I give you a bunch of examples in this episode. So that's something that I'm happy to share with you. Finally, the seventh way to practice mindfulness is to treat yourself the way you would treat a dear friend. Tell yourself encouraging words. Like, for instance, just recently, with this whole COVID-19 pandemic thing going on, there's a point where I was like giving myself a pep talk by myself. I was washing dishes by the window, and I saw my neighbor. I live in a townhouse complex, so I saw my neighbor coming home, and as I'm giving myself my pep talk, I believe I said something like, John, everyone's trying hard. You gotta keep trying hard too. And as I said that, my neighbor walked towards her place below me. I live upstairs, and she looked up and saw me talking to myself. I don't know, maybe she thought I was talking to someone, and maybe I had some earbuds in me, but I was talking to myself. So it's a little embarrassing, but this works. I do have to give myself my own life coaching, I gotta like pump myself up. I gotta lift my spirits up. So being mindful with yourself and talking to yourself as if you're a really good friend is really key, especially if you live by yourself. Because I live by myself and I've been single pretty much my whole life. So having that ability to lift your spirit up rather than put yourself down. A lot of times we can be so hard on ourselves. Sometimes we can be too hard on ourselves, and you don't want to do that. We're already in a situation where there's a lot of criticism. People are all a lot of them are, there's a lot of people judging each other. There's a lot of people putting people down. It's a rough world already, so don't make it worse by knocking yourself down. I hope you enjoyed the 7 ways to practice mindfulness. So now let's do a recap. Number 1, experience your environment with all of your senses. 2, do a mindful activity. 3, take some time to enjoy nature. 4, pay attention to everything you do. 5, incorporate gratitude with your mindfulness practice. 6, focus on your breathing. And 7, treat yourself the way you would treat a close friend. Thank you so much for joining me in this podcast episode. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Feel free to visit the Positive Masters universe at www.positiveMasters.com, where we share mindset practices, motivational writing, and poetry. We also have an e-commerce store with apparel and accessories that have designs and mantras to motivate you to maintain a positive mindset. Stay tuned because in the future we will have courses to develop your mindset as well as courses to develop your passion projects into your passion business. I'd like to leave you with a song by Artlist, which I'm an affiliate with. If you like their music, I have their link in the show notes. You can use Artlist music personally or for your business. My fellow positive makers, until next time, keep developing your mindset, keep working on your passion projects, and keep spreading positivity. I love you guys.
It's a good day.